Alright y'all, so it is that time of the month where we are going to be choosing our next month TBR, which is going to be February. I'm so excited because we're actually going to be doing it Valentine's Day themed, and it's going to be kind of like the same as like Rachel Catherine's like trend where it's like TBR prompts, but we're actually going to be putting them in Valentine's Day cards like this one. As you guys can see, it is so cute. It says love bug, and we actually have all the TBR prompts in here, so I'm super excited. This is like the perfect combo because it's literally pink, and even the Valentine's Day cards are also pink, and it just looks so cute. The main reason why I wanted to do Valentine's Day cards is because obviously when you're an adult, you don't really like get these anymore, and I remember how every Valentine's Day, especially in like elementary school, you would go around with your classmates and give them Valentine's Day cards, and for whatever reason that just always made me happy because everyone had different kinds of Valentine's Day cards, and it was just like a complete like range of different ones, and it always said something cute, so it just makes me think of just like happiness. I saw these at Target and I thought that these were perfect, and yeah, I just, why not? It's perfect for the month. It's perfect to just feel happy in general, especially when it comes to the winter months. We do have our TBR cart right here. We have a bunch of books to choose from, and we're actually not going to be choosing any thrillers because thrillers can sometimes be pretty negative, and for me, I am the type of person who, if like someone's negative or like there's some sort of negative energy, I absorb it, so I try to kind of just avoid like negative energy in general. And I remember specifically with Rock Paper Scissors, the main male character in that one was just so negative and just kind of hateful in his dialogues, so I found myself also feeling that way and just kind of feeling just down. So after that, I kind of realized that thrillers were not for me. So for thrillers, I just read them from time to time. It's not something that I usually pick, but if you guys do have recs when it comes to thrillers that aren't like that, please do recommend them because the ones that I have read are pretty just dark, and yeah, like dark anything I just tend to avoid. Even like dark romances I also try to avoid because, you know, like there's just so much things that happen in dark romances that I'm just kind of like, that's not my thing. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually start choosing our February TBR. So let's actually start with our first prompt jar. Okay, so I actually don't really remember what I put in here, so let's actually choose. Okay, our first one, so cute. It literally says Happy Valentine's, and it's like the cutest thing. This is a sticker that you can take out, and it has like little googly eyes. It's so cute, but I actually almost looked at the TBR prompt. Okay, a book with one word title. Okay, so it has to have one word in it, and one already caught my attention, and it is Wildfire. This is the second book in the Icebreaker series. I have not read that one yet, but I'm not going to because I don't think that it needs to. I think it's part of a series, but it can also be kind of a standalone. It's literally so fitting for the month because it's literally pink. I am so excited. Even the cover, look at that cover. It's so cute. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna be reading this pretty soon. We're done with our first prompt. It's already off to a good start. So let's start with our next one. Our second one, it's a cute little ladybug. I love ladybugs. It's so cute. So the next one is a book everyone seems to read but you. So this is a book that has been, I guess, like overhyped, and you're like one of the last people to read. So let's actually see. I think it's The Love Hypothesis. I have seen so many people already read this one, so I think it's this one for sure. I also do have books in the back, so I have to remind myself that there are books in the back as well. I'm super excited about this one because this is actually the first book that I read of this author, and it also includes bonus chapters. I wonder why. Third one, first in a series. Okay, we do have Emily Wilde. We also have the Inheritance Games, or we also have Twilight. Honestly, y'all, I think I'm gonna do Twilight. Yep, I'm doing this. I am gonna do this. This is the first book in the series. My aunt actually said that she prefers the book than the actual movie, so it's so funny how I literally went with these two, and then out of nowhere I just remember Twilight being in here and I just snatched it up. This is gonna be our third book. Okay, cute. A book with the pink cover. I know which one it is. This one. I know it's not a pink cover, but it does have pink spines. Okay, fifth book. Okay, so our fifth one is turned into a movie slash show. I actually don't think any of these have. Have they? Okay, so we have this one, and then we have the first book, The Summer I Turned Pretty. So one of these two, I don't know. I actually have not watched the show yet because I've been trying to debate whether I want to like watch it without reading it, but now I'm not going to until I finish the series. These are pretty small though, and there's only 3, so I think that I can get them done pretty quickly. So we're gonna be choosing The Summer I Turned Pretty. Obviously this was a huge thing last year and the year before when it first came out. So the 6th one is Set in a Small Town. Wait. So I think I'm gonna do Archer's Voice. I know that this is not like a happy book at all. It's actually, I think, pretty sad. Okay, so we're gonna be choosing our 7th because we're actually doing 8 because we're very ambitious in this household. A book published this year. I think this is a Barnes exclusive edition that got published this year, I think, but no, it has not been published. We are literally in the second, not even in the 2nd month, so I don't have any. So for this one, I'm actually gonna go on my phone and see what book releases there are this month or in February. Okay, so we have a couple actually. So Ali Hazelwood, actually, she has another book called Bride that's being released. I know which one we're doing. We're doing If Only I Had Told Her. This one is the 2nd book in If He Had Been With Me, and this one's actually Finn's point of view, and I've been dying for this one for so long. It was supposed to be released last year, like early last year, but they pushed it back, and oh my god, I completely forgot. So we're actually gonna be choosing this one. I love this cover. It has roses on it, and we're doing it. Okay, so our last one, okay, inspired by a classic. I think it's gonna have to be Never, because I don't really know any of these other books that are inspired by a classic. Should we ignore this one and pretend that we didn't see it? We're gonna do that. What happened? Nothing happened. We're putting this back because it was actually not supposed to happen. You guys saw nothing. Okay, so our actual 8th book is going to be Borrowed by the Library. Yay! Okay, so a couple days ago, me and my husband actually went to our local library and got library cards, which I highly recommend doing, and I picked 2 books. We have 2 books from the library, but I think I'm gonna do Babel just because I've been eyeing this book for the longest time, which is why I grabbed it from the library, just in case I don't like it, then I'm not gonna buy the physical copy. But I have been very curious about this book, so I think I'm gonna be doing this one. So the first book in our February TBR is actually going to be Archer's Voice, and this one is basically about a girl who goes back to her small town, and she's actually running away from her old life, and so she just kind of goes there to just find herself again and just kind of have like a fresh start. And she meets this guy who is just like this really grumpy person who he's just very closed off. I really hope that this is actually going to be one of my all-time favorite books of this year, and I just have that feeling it's going to be. The next book is actually going to be The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Hong. So her family actually owns like a vacation home, and they go there every summer, and she actually growing up loved this guy. She had a huge crush on him, and then obviously like puberty hits, they're both in high school, and then both of them kind of have feelings for each other, but then like the brother, for whatever reason, I don't know, gets himself into like this love triangle between the 3 of them. It is a pretty small book. It is YA, and I have heard nothing but great things about the actual TV show as well. So the next book that we're going to be reading is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. So this is actually like a Groundhog Day situation where she repeats the same day over and over, and it's actually Valentine's Day. The next book that we're going to be reading is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. People love him. He's like one of like the main like book boyfriends that people love. The main girl is actually in STEM. She is a biologist or in the science field, and so she runs into her ex-boyfriend, and she's kind of in a situation where she's like, oh, I actually also have a person with me, like I have a partner, you see I'm over you, and she's kind of like, wait, I actually don't. And so she's trying to figure out where she can find her fake boyfriend, and this guy just ends up being there, and he kind of goes along with it, and so now she's in like this fake dating predicament. I love fake dating. It's one of my favorite tropes, and this book has been very well loved, so those 2 combinations are the perfect match. Next book that we're going to be reading is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the 2nd book in the Icebreaker series, and they're actual like hockey players, but this one actually takes place in the summer where he's volunteering in this camp with this girl, and before they went to work at this camp, they kind of had a like one-night stand hookup, and they thought that they were never going to see each other, and so they don't know their names, they don't know who they are at all until they get to the actual camp. And one of the camp's rules is that you're not allowed to have relationships with other camp members. I knew that I didn't want to read this one right away when it first came out because I think it came out like late fallish, and this kind of gives summer vibes, so I knew that I kind of want to read it a little bit more into that and not actual like fall. So I think this is the perfect time to read it. And then the next book that we're going to be reading is Twilight. Obviously this book and movie, especially in the movie, is very well loved. Everyone knows the characters and everything that happens, but even though I am the type of person who will not read a book if I already watched the movie, I think this is an exception. It truly is. But if you guys don't actually know what Twilight is about, it's basically about this girl named Bella Swan, and she goes and lives with her father in Seattle in a small town. And so when she goes there, she sees this guy who she has like this attraction to and just kind of like pulled to him, and he's actually a vampire. I think that this book has more to it than what the actual movie is, so I'm intrigued to see how different it is. The last book that we're going to be reading is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I don't know what this one is about. Okay, so this is actually a historical fantasy, and he is actually brought to London to kind of practice with one of the professors at Oxford, and Babel is kind of like this, I guess, like group. And so when he is studying there, the organization is called Babel, and so he's basically seeing like the differences and also similarities between Babel and the actual way of like society in general as people. It's a book actually that I will normally not pick, so I'm excited to kind of branch out and read a historical fiction fantasy, I guess. So these are all the books that we're going to be reading in the month of February. I'm super excited. Do keep a lookout in future videos where I incorporate these books. Not all of them obviously, but I do want to incorporate them in some sense in future videos and maybe do another challenge with them. I don't know. But that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever time you guys are watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!